Have you ever stopped and really wondered what it takes? Not just to live a long time, but to live a life that feels, genuinely joyful, full of purpose.
It's a fundamental question, isn't it?
It really is. And today, we're going deep on Ikigai,
Mm.
that fascinating Japanese idea often called a secret to longevity and, well, happiness.
Right. Ikigai.
Our deep dive today is pulling from quite a few sources, mainly looking closely at the popular Ikigai book and some related stuff. They all try to unpack this ancient concept that links having a purpose with, well, just feeling good overall.
Yeah, that connection is key.
So our mission really is to pull out the wisdom from these sources, find those practical ideas that have guided some of the world's longest-lived people, in Japan for ages.
And see how they might apply to us.
Exactly. How these insights could maybe reshape your own daily life, your perspective. And it's kind of charming, actually, how the book itself started.
Oh, the origin story.
Yeah. The two authors, they lived in totally different parts of Japan, met in this little Tokyo bar one rainy night. Just a casual chat, but they were both fascinated by finding life's purpose.
Just clicked.
Totally. And that's where the idea for the book was born. Just like that.
Amazing.
So let's start with the heart of it. This word, ikigai, we hear it translated sometimes as the joy of being busy. But is that really it? Does that capture how deep this concept goes?
That's a really good starting point because the joy of being busy, well, it touches on it, but the real meaning of Ikigai, it's much deeper. It's more like your unique life purpose, your fundamental reason for being.
Reason for being. Okay.
Yeah, finding meaning in just existing, not just in the things you do. And it's pretty amazing, like you said, that these two authors, different backgrounds, both ended up exploring the same universal human need for meaning.
That search for meaning. It makes me think of something else the sources really get into. Logotherapy.
Ah, Viktor Frankl, yes.
Right. Founded by Frankl. It's therapy designed specifically to help people find their life's purpose. And the authors pointed out something interesting. That maybe modern therapy doesn't use logotherapy as much now.
Yeah, that's a point they make.
Even though, so many people still seem to be wrestling with finding that purpose.
Exactly. And what's really compelling about logotherapy and why it connects so well with Ikigai is this link Frankl actually observed between, well, finding that purpose and literally surviving. Longevity.
Survival, wow.
Yeah, his experiences, in the concentration camps, they showed that prisoners who held on to a clear future purpose, a why to live for, they just had a better chance. It shows purpose isn't just like a nice to have for happiness, it's fundamental, a survival tool.
It's incredibly powerful. It's one thing to hear the theory, but the sources really bring it home with some examples. Can you walk us through some of those logotherapy cases? They sound intense.
They really are eliminating. Take the diplomat, for example. He'd been in psychoanalysis for years, totally miserable, hated his job, his country's policies. Okay. But Frankl helped him see that his real unhappiness wasn't just the job. It was that he needed a different path, something personally meaningful. So he changed careers, found his thing, and actually became happy.
Just needed that shift in direction.
Precisely. Or there's the story of the suicidal mother, just devastated. She'd lost one son, and her other son had paralysis. She was caring for him, completely overwhelmed.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Frankl helped her find purpose by having her imagine herself, like at the end of her life, looking back. And she realized that all her effort for her paralyzed son, that struggle, it gave her life this profound meaning.
Wow. Finding meaning in the struggle itself.
Exactly. And one more, the grieving doctor. His wife had died, and he was consumed by grief. Frankl just asked him, what would have happened if she had outlived him? And the doctor realized his suffering, his pain now, it was actually sparing her that same pain. It became this sort of noble act of love in his mind.
So it's really about perspective, isn't it? Finding that why can completely change how you see your situation.
That's the core takeaway. Absolutely. These cases show that finding your personal why, your ikigai, essentially can turn despair into hope, into purpose. Even when things seem absolutely dire, it's about finding meaning in your situation.
That search for purpose, it leads us perfectly to Okinawa, right? Specifically, Ogimi Village, the village of longevity.
That's the place.
The numbers are just, well, staggering. Something like 24 centenarians for every 100,000 people. That's way higher than the global average. Makes you really wonder what's going on there.
It really does.
And the authors, they didn't just read reports. They went there. Cameras, recording gear. They really lived it for a bit, didn't they? To figure out the secrets behind these long, joyful lives.
Yeah, they immersed themselves. It wasn't just about good genes or nice weather, although that probably doesn't hurt.
Huh, probably not. So what did they find? What are the pillars of this Okinawan lifestyle?
Well, they identified several key things that all work together. First, and this is huge, is their social connection. It's incredible. They have something called moai. Yeah, basically groups of people with common interests. These aren't just social clubs. They offer real emotional support, sometimes even financial help. It creates this amazing sense of security, reduces stress.
Like a built-in support system.
Exactly. And then there's this other concept, Ichiriba Chode. It means, roughly, treat everyone you meet like a brother, even if you just met them. It speaks to these really strong, warm social bonds they have.
That sounds lovely. What about diet? That always comes up with longevity.
Oh, definitely. The diet's crucial. They practice harahachi-bu.
Right, the 80% rule. Eat until you're just about 80% full.
Exactly. It's ancient wisdom. And their diet itself is very plant-heavy. Lots and lots of different vegetables, like thousands of calories worth daily sometimes. And local superfoods, too, like shikuwasa. It's this lime-like fruit, apparently packed with beneficial compounds, way more than oranges.
Chikuasa. Never heard of it.
Yeah, neither before this. They also drink sanpincha, which is like jasmine tea, and eat things like goya, bitter melon, and crucially, very little sugar, very little salt compared to even other parts of Japan. It's a very natural, whole foods kind of diet.
Okay, so community, diet. What about activity? Are they all marathon runners?
Huh. Not exactly. It's not about hitting the gym hard. It's more about constant, gentle movement woven into their day.
Ah, like how?
Gardening is huge, walking places, just, daily chores, community activities. They even have this thing called radio taiso exercises broadcast on the radio every morning that lots of people do together. It's just part of the routine, consistent movement.
Makes sense. And the last pillar, mindset.
Yeah, and this one's fascinating. There's basically no word in Japanese for retirement in the way we think of it in the West.
Really? No retirement.
People just don't stop. They keep doing work they enjoy or engaging in their hobbies, their ikigai, for as long as they physically can. There's immense satisfaction in feeling useful, staying active. And this ties into this really positive, resilient attitude you see in Ogimi. These people went through the devastation of World War II, rebuilt, and thrived. It's remarkable.
It really is. It's not just one thing. It's like this whole interwoven system, the food, the friends, the movement, the mindset. It all supports each other.
That's exactly it. It's holistic.
It sounds amazing, almost too good to be true sometimes. Do the sources mention if, like, it's harder now? Or if there are challenges even they face maintaining this in the modern world?
No.
Or is their environment just uniquely suited to it?
That's a fair question. The sources focus more on the principles they embody. While their environment, the strong community traditions, certainly helps enable it, the core ideas community, mindful eating, purpose, gentle activity are presented as fairly universal. The emphasis is more on their commitment to these ways of life, passed down through generations. It's less about the specific place, maybe, and more about the underlying philosophy.
Right, the principles are adaptable.
Okay.
And speaking of the mindset, the engagement, this brings us to flow, right? That term pops up a lot.
Yes, flow, from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Can you unpack that? What exactly is flow and why is it so connected to finding your ikigai?
So flow, it's that state where you're completely absorbed in what you're doing, like utterly immersed. Time just seems to disappear. You feel challenged but capable.
And then in the zone feeling.
Exactly. To get there, you usually need clear goals for the task. You need immediate feedback on how you're doing. And crucially, there has to be a balance. The challenge of the task needs to match your skill level. Not too easy, not overwhelmingly hard.
That sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot, where you feel stretched but in control, fully engaged. It's deeply satisfying.
And it feels like our modern way of working, trying to juggle everything, multitasking. That's just the absolute enemy of flow, isn't it?
Oh, completely.
I mean, the sources mentioned this Stanford study.
Yeah.
Pretty shocking, finding that switching tasks constantly can cut your efficiency by like 60% and even lower IQ by 10 points.
Yeah, it's a massive productivity drain.
Yeah.
And it kills that deep focus needed for flow.
So how do we actually get more flow, practically speaking?
Well, a few things. First, pick tasks that hit that sweet spot. Challenging, but achievable, just outside your comfort zone, maybe.
Sure.
Second, set really clear goals for what you want to accomplish in that session. Not vague, but specific.
Right.
And third, this is key, focus on one thing at a time. Seriously minimize distractions. Turn off the phone notifications, close unnecessary tabs, maybe even set aside specific tech-free times to really concentrate.
Easier said than done sometimes, but crucial. And this idea of flow, it seems so deeply embedded in Japanese culture, especially craftsmanship. But it's not just for master artisans, is it?
Not at all. You see it with the takumi, the master craftspeople, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
the sources mention the kimono brushmakers or Jiro Ono, the sushi master who's, 80-something and still perfecting his craft. Steve Jobs apparently admired a potter named Sakunaga.
Wow.
These people pour their entire being into their work. They find joy in the process, the constant refinement, not just the end result, but it's also about microflow.
Microflow.
Yeah, finding flow in small everyday tasks. The sources suggest even things like washing dishes or operating an elevator, if done with focus and intention, can become moments of microflow, bringing mindfulness to the mundane.
Finding the sacred in the ordinary almost. Is there a deeper cultural or maybe spiritual reason for this dedication?
There seems to be. The sources touch on the Shinto belief, the idea that objects have a spirit, a kami. This fosters a deep respect for materials and tools, a connection to the craft itself. It encourages that dedication, that pursuit of excellence, which naturally leads to states of flow and continuous improvement. It's a kind of spiritual dimension to the work.
That's fascinating. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to resilience. How to keep going when things get tough. The sources bring up this concept, anti-fragility, from Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
Yes, anti-fragility. It's a great concept.
It's more than just being tough or resilient, right? What does it actually mean?
Exactly. Resilience or robustness means you can withstand shocks and stay the same. Anti-fragility is different. It means you actually benefit from shocks. You grow stronger because of volatility and stress. Think of the Hydra from Greek myth, cut off one head, two grow back. That's anti-fragile.
Okay, so getting stronger from chaos.
In a sense, yes. A real-world example from the sources compares the Fukushima nuclear plant, which was fragile. The tsunami hit and it collapsed catastrophically.
A disaster.
But then you look at some of the nearby towns, also devastated by the same tsunami. They didn't just rebuild. They adapted, diversified, maybe found new industries. They came back stronger. That's anti-fragility in action. They use the crisis as a catalyst for positive change.
That's a really powerful distinction. So how does this apply to us, to you listening? How can we cultivate anti-fragility without, inviting chaos?
Right. It's not about seeking out disaster. It's more about building systems in your life that can benefit from a bit of stress or unpredictability. The sources suggest things like create options. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, whether it's income streams, skills, or even hobbies.
Diversify.
Exactly. Take small, calculated risks. Try things out. Learn from small failures that makes you more adaptable. And actively avoid things that make you fragile, like being overly dependent on one income source, or having too much debt, or even rigid, unhealthy habits that could break under pressure.
That makes a lot of sense. And thinking back to the Okinawans.
Yeah. It connects perfectly. Many of those centenarian, the sources note, had their main thing, but also maybe a garden they sold produce from or some other side venture. They were inherently diversified, inherently less fragile.
It's all connected. And this resilient outlook, it's also supported by some really beautiful Japanese philosophies, isn't it? Like wabi-sabi.
Ah, wabi-sabi, yes. It's about finding beauty in things that are imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete.
Like a cracked teacup being more interesting than a perfect one.
Kind of, yeah. It teaches acceptance of flaws, of the transient nature of things. It's a deep aesthetic appreciation for authenticity, including its imperfections.
And what about Ichigo Ichi?
Ichigo Ichi. One time, one meeting. It's this idea that each moment, each encounter is unique and will never happen again in exactly the same way.
So cherish the present.
Deeply. It encourages you to be fully present, to appreciate the now, because it's all you truly have and it's fleeting. These ideas may be combined with influences from Buddhism or Stoicism, focusing on what you can control, accepting what you can't. They really foster emotional stability. Less worry, more acceptance.
Observing your thoughts rather than being swept away by them.
Exactly.
Okay, now for maybe the most inspiring part. Hearing from the supercentenarians themselves. People living past 110.
Truly remarkable individuals.
The sources say there are maybe 350, 400 documented cases worldwide, and a lot of them are in Japan. What can we learn directly from these people who've lived so incredibly long?
Their wisdom is often quite simple, but profound. Take Misao Okawa. She lived to 117. Her secret. She said, eat, sleep, and live long. Apparently, she took care of herself entirely until she was 110.
Wow. Simple advice.
Then there's Maria Capovilla, 116. Never ate meat, apparently. Known for her joy for life, strong family connections.
Family again.
Yes. And Jane Cullman. She reached 122, an amazing character. At 120, she apparently joked, I can't see anything, I can't hear anything, I can't feel anything, but everything is fine.
What a spirit.
Right. She rode a bicycle until she was 100, lived alone until 110, and supposedly quit smoking at 120.
Quit smoking at 120? That's dedication.
Then Walter Bruning, 114. His advice was, keep your mind and body active. He kept working into very old age, wasn't afraid of death.
Activity again.
And Alexander Imich, 111. He was a chemist interested in parapsychology. He put his longevity down to not worrying and not drinking alcohol. And when he became the world's oldest man, he was very humble, said, it's not a great accomplishment.
Fascinating glimpses into their lives. When you put it all together, though, what are the common threads? What really stands out across these super long lives?
Well, when you synthesize it, the themes become really clear and they echo everything we've been talking about with Ikigai. Staying active, both physically and mentally. Strong social ties, community, family, moderate eating habits, not overindulging, and critically a positive, resilient mindset, not dwelling on the negative.
It all circles back.
It really does. It's like these super centenarians are living proof of the Ikigai principles.
Okay, so to really bring this home, the sources distilled the wisdom from Ogimi into 10 practical rules, a kind of roadmap for finding and living your Ikigai. Let's walk through them.
Sounds good.
Number 1, stay active, don't retire.
Keep doing things you value, things that contribute, things that get you moving, even gently. Don't just stop.
Number 2, take it slow.
Yeah. Resist the modern urge to rush everything. Savor the moment. Find purpose in the present, not just the destination.
3, don't fill your stomach.
Back to Harahachibu. That 80% rule supports health, energy, longevity, mindful eating.
4, surround yourself with good friends.
Nurture those connections. Community, moai. That social support is vital for emotional well-being and joy.
5, get in shape for your next birthday.
Think gentle, consistent movement, like the Radio Taiso. It's about maintaining vitality day by day, year by year.
6, smile.
Simple, but powerful. A cheerful attitude makes life more pleasant, attracts positive connections, even reduces stress.
7, reconnect with nature.
Get outside, spend time in green spaces. It restores the spirit, provides perspective.
8, give thanks.
Cultivate gratitude. Acknowledge the good things, big and small. Your ancestors, family, friends, nature itself. It shifts your focus.
9, live in the present.
Let go of dwelling on the past or worrying excessively about the future. Embrace the Ichigo Ichi of this moment.
And finally, number 10, follow your Ikigai.
Discover what gives your life meaning, what gets you into that state of flow, your reason for being, and then nurture it. Let it guide you.
So when we put it all together, the big message for you listening seems to be that your Ikigai. It doesn't have to be some huge world-changing thing, right?
Not at all.
It could be being a really engaged parent or helping out a neighbor, tending your garden, mastering a craft just for yourself. It's about finding that deep satisfaction in being purposefully engaged, whatever that engagement looks like for you.
Exactly. It really reinforces that Ikigai isn't some destination you arrive at or a puzzle you solve once. It's more like a way of living, a compass. It's about staying curious, paying attention to what brings you joy and absorption, and leaning into those things, cultivating that connection to your deepest self.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe here's something to reflect on. If you could picture yourself at, say, 100 years old, what would your Ikigai be? What's that one thing or maybe those few things you hope you'd still be doing with genuine joy, bringing meaning